You've probably been told that 32 is destroying your tires, costing you fuel economy and slowly wearing out your suspension. I believed it too. In fact, back in March of 2024, I watched video after video claiming the factory recommendation was wrong. Every single one said the same thing: pump your tires up to 40 PSI. So that's exactly what I did. On March 18, 2024, my odometer read 47,862 miles. I had just installed a brand new set of Michelin Defender 2 tires that cost me $918.47, including mounting, balancing, and an alignment. That's real money, and I wanted to protect it. For the next 11 months, I checked the pressure almost every weekend. Every tire stayed right around 40 PSI cold. I was diligent about it. By February 2025, the car had just over 63,900 miles on it. That's when I noticed something didn't feel right. The ride was noticeably firmer. Small cracks in the road felt bigger than they used to. Even expansion joints on the highway had become more noticeable. That little rhythmic thud you usually tune out was suddenly something I was actively aware of on every drive. So I stopped by the same tire shop where I'd bought the tires. The technician walked over with a tread depth gauge, checked all 4 tires, then asked me one question: "What pressure have you been running?" I answered immediately: 40 PSI. He nodded, looked back at the tires, and said something I wasn't expecting: "Have you ever tried running the factory pressure?" That completely caught me off guard. So why was a technician with more than 20 years of experience telling me to trust the number printed inside my driver's door? That's when I started digging deeper, and what I found changed the way I think about tire pressure completely. Let's back up first, because to understand why I got this wrong, you have to understand where that "run it higher" advice actually comes from, because it's not pulled out of thin air. It's built on a real number that gets misread constantly. Every tire has a maximum pressure rating stamped into the sidewall. On my Michelin Defender 2s, that number is 51 PSI. A lot of the videos I'd watched pointed straight at that number and said, essentially, this is what the tire can handle, so get closer to it for maximum performance. It sounds logical on the surface. If the tire says it can take 51, doesn't 40 seem like a safe, smart step in that direction? Here's the problem with that logic, and it's the exact thing the technician started explaining to me that day at the shop. That sidewall number has nothing to do with my car. It's a property of the tire itself, a structural ceiling, tested and rated by Michelin for that tire's construction, independent of what vehicle it ends up mounted on. The exact same Defender 2 in my size gets sold to owners of sedans, wagons, and crossovers with completely different weights and completely different suspension setups, and it carries that same 51 pounds per square inch max regardless. It's a do not exceed figure, not a this is ideal figure. The number that's actually tailored to my car is the one on the door sticker. In my case, 32 PSI front and rear. That number wasn't picked by the tire manufacturer at all. It came from my car's engineers, who tested this specific vehicle's weight distribution, ride characteristics, and factory tire size, and calculated the exact pressure that balances grip, braking, comfort, and even wear. It's not a conservative guess padded for liability. It's a calculated target. Worth knowing too, that target isn't the same number for every car. Depending on the vehicle, factory door sticker pressures commonly range anywhere from about 30 pounds per square inch up to around 35 pounds per square inch. A lighter sedan might call for 30 or 32, while a slightly heavier crossover or a car with a different factory tire size might genuinely be spaced closer to 35. That's not a range to pick from for your own car. It's just why you can't borrow someone else's good number and assume it applies to you. Whatever your own door sticker says, that's the one that was actually calculated for your vehicle. I want to sit with that distinction for a second, because it's the whole crux of the mistake I made. I was treating a structural limit like a performance recommendation. Those are two completely different categories of number, and for 11 months I had them confused. So what actually happens when you run 8 PSI over factory spec like I did? The tire technician explained it to me in a way that finally made it click. He grabbed a tire off a nearby rack, a customer's takeoff, worn out from months of overinflation, and had me run my hand across the tread. The center was nearly bald. The outer edges still had visible tread depth. He explained that when a tire is overinflated, it doesn't sit flat against the road the way it's designed to. The middle of the tread bulges outward slightly, like a balloon rounding out under extra air. That bulge means the center strip of the tire is absorbing almost all of the contact with the pavement mile after mile, while the outer edges are barely doing any work at all. That's exactly what I was starting to feel in my own car, just earlier in the process. The stiffness, the harshness on expansion joints. That was overinflation announcing itself, months before it would have shown up as visible wear on my own tread. He also walked me through something I hadn't considered: what overinflation does to grip. A smaller contact patch means less rubber touching the road every time you brake, corner, or need traction in the rain. I hadn't noticed a dramatic difference in day-to-day driving, but he was clear that in an emergency braking situation or on a wet road, that reduced contact patch is exactly the kind of thing that turns a close call into an actual incident. It's not something you feel until the one moment you really need it. I asked him directly, does the higher pressure at least help fuel economy? If this saved you from making the same mistake I did, stick around. There's more of this kind of thing I'm planning to dig into. The stuff that sounds smart online but doesn't hold up once you actually sit down with someone who does this for a living.